Here is the sales cycle task 1. Define sales cycle in your own words. List at least 2 points which you got connected with the workshop so far. What is that you want to achieve by end of this specific workshop module? And please understand that this is a workshop and the execution of tasks is mandatory. Here is a simple and best way to execute the task. Please open the sales cycle playbook, get clarity on the information so far, and open sales cycle workshop 4 tasks sample answers. As shown on the screen, it will be something like that, and this is for your reference. You can do it. It's a very simple task. So it's time to pause the video, take a break, finish the task, and come back. Okay, welcome back to the session. I think you have finished the task 1. Now let's go straight to a case study which failed due to the sales challenges. This is a company from United States, and coming to our analysis, Zulily was an online store dedicated to moms and children's clothing and products. The site offered heavily discounted invite-only flash sales to its customers and gained huge popularity and rave reviews in its first operational months. Most products were initially from little-known brands and included prenatal care products, travel accessories, bedding and bath, children clothing, toys, DVDs, and educational materials. The site also promised to be an eco-friendly site that would plant a tree for each new purchase on the site on the name of the buyer's child. The two founders, after spending years of time and around 194 million US dollars, company was acquired at a very low price than its valuation. Here are the observations primarily. The main culprit for the downfall of the popularity of Zulily is poor marketing and user attention strategies. Most notably, in order to access the search engine and databases of Zulily's shopping items, the platform required from new visitors to give their email address prior to even seeing what the online store had to offer. This marketing trick met with a lot of criticism since it violated some basic marketing principles. Zulily initially achieved a record success with the number of new subscribers who registered on the site, but the company team soon noticed that sales began rapidly to decline. People gave their mail only to peek on the site, and registered users couldn't necessarily be considered loyal or even willing customers. This inadequate marketing strategy and front page email request discouraged thousands of potential new customers to sign up, while their existing users often bought only once or anyway not enough to sustain the financial stability of the company. Moreover, although sometimes the company offered brand names for ridiculously small prices, there would often be longer than expected delivery times to customers, which also earned them poor reviews. We have to learn from the mistakes. Now, I will explain some important points about sales growth. First, let's start with 5 bulletproof points for sales growth. First point is 80% of the business comes from 20% of the customers. Second point, learn and know when to spend on marketing. Third point is develop sales attitude. Fourth point is learn to play the mind game. And fifth point is how to be creative in sales. I will explain point by point now. So the first point, 80-20 rule. It's a very simple rule in sales. 80% of the business comes from 20% of the customers. Now, I would say focus on the 20% and apply the same logic. So 20% of 20% is 4%. Now laser target on 4% of the clients who are giving 64% of the business. This will certainly increase the sales. And the second point, when to spend on marketing. Have an end-to-end process with accountabilities ready before kickstarting the marketing. Spend money on marketing only after the system is proved with experiments and real sales. The third point, develop sales attitude. Nothing happens in business until something is sold. So it's advised every team should wear the sales hat wherever needed. Everything depends on the ability to effectively communicate the value being offered, and there are no shortcuts for this. And the next point, how to play the mind game. Success is 20% mechanics and 80% mindset. Always be on the toes and find where the focus is. Wherever the focus is, it expands. Train the sales team mind to be great. Take inspiration from world-famous athletes and successful people. Motivation and demotivation can make or break the things. And it's the sales team's responsibility for constant and continuous charge. Develop great attitude of persuasion. Overcome the biggest objection that is generally faced by the sales team, which is ingrained in their own minds. Once this is addressed, everything is set. And the final point in the 5 points is how to be creative in sales. There is absolutely no multitasking. It's not at all recommended as it simply distracts. Organize every hour of the day. Understand that it's not the message, it's the way we deliver it to the prospective customer. If a prospect isn't good fit, even if they want to buy from us, don't let them. Separate real objections with non-real objections by asking straight questions. Understand that a sale takes place where value exceeds price. Try to make the prospective client understand the value offered. Try to read people and figure out exactly what is that they are trying to achieve. Understand that it's who speaks first that loses. Whenever some important information is shared, especially about price or timeline, give some time. Let the customer understand the information. Never respond first. You can take a pause or close it as gracefully as possible. Reconfirm before closing the call. Even though everything seemed to be okay, consider this as a mandatory step. These are the 5 bulletproof points and detailed explanation for great sales. Now let's understand some best sales cycle tips. First, create curiosity and then share information about the product or service. Next, share the USPs in the next conversation. Get ready for meeting, and before that, research about the prospective client. Understand their requirements. Share your unique offering with solutions to the prospective client. Follow up with the client, share the quotation, and then comes the sign-up process. So these are the steps which are even before the sign-up actually happens. And here are some tips for the e-commerce industry. E-commerce industry is booming as of now, so let's understand some important points about e-commerce industry first. It's very unforgiving space as visitors can be very brutal, but infinitely scalable if applied right tools and techniques. Gone are the days of e-commerce where company could spend money and bring people to buy the products. The return on investment must work. There are still many ways to compete with big bosses in e-commerce industry. Price, quantity, and money, and there are many other aspects. The ideal scenario would be if e-commerce company can bring customers for free. That is, if they just cover up acquisition cost in first purchase and then use the lifetime value for the rest of their cycle. It's a very good scenario. Next, how to make the website creative. Use the best content. Attach a story to the product. Use good backgrounds. Attach a cause, which could be a benefit for the society or giving back to the society. There are many cases where the sales increased from 15 to 50% with these small tips. Now, find the best channels for e-commerce marketing. It could be Facebook, Instagram, Google limited by how many people are searching. It's directly getting into price war with the Google shopping. Facebook ads could be scaled up. They could be more creative. Display videos or images about wow factor demonstration in about 30 seconds. The other point is use important metrics. Average order value or average cart value should be highest. Lifetime value of the customer should be highest. Ensure that these are done. And there are simple tips to increase average cart value. During the checkout, offer more of what has been purchased at checkout. Same product, offer it for a lesser price. It will be an irresistible offer. Compliment more. Offer something relevant to the item purchased, again with some moderate discount. Other point is shipping priority. You can charge a little more. Give some ebooks or service warranty. And finally, there is a customer acquisition trick in the e-commerce thing. It's going to become incredibly more competitive to market business online. As more and more businesses finding their way online, the limited inventory of Facebook, Google will result in increased competition. Eventually, the cost of competition is going to rise up. Customer acquisition cost will only increase as a result of this, which results in loss of overall profit. Example, a typical retailer will sell milk and other similar products which are for daily consumption. Retailer will hardly get any profit in selling milk, but the much needed customer relationship is established here. Similarly, any e-commerce company which can focus on increasing the lifetime value of the customer is going to win this race. Else, they need to shut down in no time. Okay, a lot of information about sales tips and e-commerce industry tips. Are you connected with the workshop? We covered some great things about sales. Hope you have enjoyed. Now let's get into the task. The second task is to design sales growth techniques for a company. Please understand that only by thoroughly working on all the tasks in previous workshops, it becomes easy to attempt this task. People with experience can work more easily. However, people with passion and consistent understanding of till-date modules can easily design this. I will explain the important terms here. Once again, finding 4% clients of 80-20 rule. According to 80-20 rule, 80% of the business comes from 20% of the clients. In that 20%, find the 20% of which comes to 4%. So identify that 4% of clients and focus on them. You will get the maximum business. Next, find and include what is the total budget for conversion. Identify and remove mental blocks in sales teams. Sometimes they will be very simple or even silly, but those mental blocks must be addressed thoroughly from root cause. Form a strong sales attitude. Next, the mind game tactics. While building the sales attitude for sales teams, try to use some simple mind game tactics which improves the morale of the sales team. So sky is the limit for creativity in designing some aspects for sales tips and techniques. If possible, find some ways in creating curiosity in sales team and customers with products or services as well. Define the sales metrics. Freeze the action plan for social media. So these are all the tasks in task 2. Now, here is a simple and best way to execute the task. Refer to Sales Cycle Playbook. In the playbook, please go through all the points which have been covered so far in the video. Rewind the video if needed. Get clarity on all the information which you have gone through so far in the form of video and playbook content. Open 10 Sales Cycle Workshop for Tasks Sample Answers. Screen, you can see the sample reference for task 2 of designing sales growth techniques for a company. You can use the template as it is, or you can update or modify as per the business requirements. First, select a company. It can be any company from the known network or LinkedIn or online or whatever. Understand their product and think as a business transformation analyst, how would you design? Write whatever comes to your mind, as you can always revisit this section anytime. It could be in a single outcome or a series of outcomes which are currently in your mind. The sample has end-to-end. So please first read it, understand and digest the template end-to-end. So please go through the template, try to analyze each and every field. Pause this video for a while and finish the task. Resume the video once you are done.